Welcome to the Post Race Inspection Podcast. This is officially the first episode, not the pilot anymore. I'm Thomas, and I'm here with my good buddy Sam over at Grid Banter. How's it going, man?
Hey, how's it going, man? Going good over here with my cat.
Yeah, it's Brembo for the audience that's watching, not in podcast form. So, yeah. I guess we can start. I gave my background in the first episode. So how about you give a little background about yourself, how you became a NASCAR fan, and where you're at right now with your fandom.
Yeah, so I don't know exactly when I became a NASCAR fan for the first time, but I remember watching my very first NASCAR race in person. I think it was around 2007 in Daytona, back when they had the backstretch seats. I think it was a nationwide series back then. Um,
Yep.
or the Busch. No, it's not the Busch series,
Yeah,
but
first year the nationwide series was I think 2008.
yeah, whatever it was
Yeah.
fun. And then I started watching after that. Um, Kind of fell out of love with NASCAR when the chase was happening, so I didn't watch a lot during then. And
What, when
then
Jimmy was on the tail end of dominating or
yeah, I've always been a Jeff Gordon fan. So it's not like my team wasn't winning,
yeah.
but yeah, lifelong Jeff Gordon fan, and I think I really picked it back up probably around 2015, 2016-ish. Especially when I moved to Daytona for college, I really got back into it, which was around 2017.
Yeah.
And I've just continued watching since then, and I started Grid Banter. My YouTube channel 2016, I did Florida car culture, and I would just film car videos all around Central Florida. And then I decided I didn't want to film cinematic videos anymore, just because it's a lot of work for not a lot of views. I kind of wanted to get in front of the camera from rather than being behind the camera. And what easier series to make fun of than NASCAR, right? Because there's always something funny going
Yeah.
on. There's always some drama. IMSA is my true motorsport love. I love sports car racing. I always have. I got into IMSA right around the same time, around 2016. But it's just easier to make NASCAR videos, and I've really got into it hardcore since I've been making videos for the past about year, I think.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of got back into the sport when I was like out of it. Not completely, but like I wasn't following week to week like 2015 to 2016 really. Like I watched the disaster of a playoff that happened in 2015 and I was like I can't even stomach to watch next year, but 2016 through 2018 I was like half in, half out, and then I got back into it then. Um But yeah, today I wanted to talk with you just kind of what you thought about your boy your boy winning the chip last Sunday because it's the first Sunday this year without NASCAR and it's freaking snowing outside up here in Ohio. So it's
Late in
already a
Texas.
cold, cold winter, dude, up here. But yeah, I wanted to get your thoughts on championship weekend and then also just the season as a whole as far as the racing product was, and then we can do our little thought exercise of if we were king of NASCAR, what we would do to the format and to the cars. So we'll save that to the end though. But just to start it off, what'd you think about your boy winning? What'd you think about our boy Zilich losing and our boy Heim going 8 wide for the win?
Yeah, I guess we'll start with the truck series. I actually didn't. I only watched the highlights, but I was glad to see that after all the wins that he got, he ended up taking the
Thank
trophy home.
God. Thank God.
Yep. I think NASCAR really did get their Game 7 moment and their fairy tale ending at the end there.
Yeah.
Um, so I think that was exciting. There's a lot of factors that play into that could have gone wrong. Um, but I guess, knowing what we know now, hindsight 2020, it turned out pretty good and it was entertaining, right? But then you hop over to Zilich, and Zilich couldn't have a Game 7 moment
Yeah,
I
lights were too
talked about
bright.
that the other day. Lights were too bright, and it's it sucks that you can have a 10 race season or a 10 win race season and come with a third place car to the last race and not get the trophy, right? So
Yeah. He's got he's got 10% of junior motorsports wins all
that's
time
that's a crazy stat.
in one season, right? Or, season
Yeah,
in two
I
races.
didn't I
So,
didn't know that stat, but that's
yeah.
really really crazy. And I think that um there's another comparison there. I don't think I forget who had it. Maybe it was Newman, but like a similar season, maybe not 10 race wins, but a very dominant season and to come out without a trophy. I mean, you can compare it to baseball. We're both baseball fans. Not all the time does the best team win, but it's not a stick and ball sport, right? Like
Yeah.
it never really has been. And your car can break. Of course your team can screw up just like in other sports, but it's just
Yeah.
there's a lot of other players in the playoffs that aren't in the playoffs that could affect
Yeah.
your season. And that doesn't happen in stick and ball sports. Like there's only two teams.
Yeah.
So
I feel like the only way that a playoff, like a one race playoff format would work is if it was like cars where only those cars were on the track, but a quarter of the fan base wouldn't even watch. Like,
right, and it
their
wouldn't be
favorite
nearly as
if Chase
exciting.
Elliott wasn't in the championship race, there'd be 10% of people just for Chase Elliott not watching
Right,
the
right.
race. So, like, it's someone equivalated it to. I saw this on Twitter. I can't remember who said it, but it was more like instead of a game 7 moment, it was a kind of a moment where you're at recess and you're playing football and it's like and you get called to go back inside and it's like okay, last point wins. Like this last score wins.
Right, no
That's
matter what the
kind of
score
what
is.
it's like.
Yeah, I like that analogy. But of course, if you're the one playing the game, you're not gonna like it, right? Or if you're a fan of whoever's playing, you're not gonna like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, um, there's flaws to every system. Obviously, Zillich is the standout where it hurts the most. I really liked the Champ 4 for the Cup Series. I feel like they all pretty much deserve to be there.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. Like the only one that was like out of the 8 that was like close to being like oh, he would have been really nice to be in or and like someone else be out was Seabell.
right, right. So ultimately, I feel I'm a Kyle Larson fan. I love that he won, right? But it hurts to see
Yeah.
it hurts to see such a legend of the sport, Denny, not get it. Um, and I saw in multiple places that Kyle Larson would have won just on points anyway.
Yeah, with the current
Um,
point scoring format, if it was done over the regular season, he would have won with William Byron because William Byron hit the wall and was out of the race.
right,
William would have won the championship,
right.
but because of that tire going down, Larson ekes one out. That would have been really
Yep.
exciting, but of course,
That could have been their
every
game 7 moment.
yeah, yeah, and it would have been
There's
way
no getting around
more
it.
organic than what we ended up getting. And props to Larson. I prefaced my last step with that, but props to Larson because I mean he won it by he played the game by the rules. They didn't cheat. I mean they all 4 of the cars were definitely cheated up, but
Yeah,
they
that's
were all
NASCAR
playing in the
and
same
racing.
format and they knew what was at stake. So it wasn't an unfair win. It was just a really, really unfortunate loss for Denny. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
and you know what? Like I said it in my video that I put out the other day, but I think I get the logic that they're going for, but to me, all the time that they had to make that decision while they were going down pit road, Larson was in his box and out of his box before Denny even got into his.
Yeah.
So their spotter could have said something like they could have figured it out, and I'm sure they made up their mind on that decision before they even came down pit road, and they weren't worried about what Larson was going to do. But
Yeah.
for 2 laps to me, I'm not a professional, but that just doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
It
and
really
with
does.
this current era of NASCAR, it's been prevalent, through any kind of racing um that involves you being behind another person. Aero blocking is a thing, especially with these cars, and it's really, I mean, Joey won a championship last year just from aero blocking Blaney for the
Yep.
last 60 laps. So, I mean, uh,
Yeah,
I
I don't think
understand
that.
I completely understand their reasoning for taking four because they were by far the fastest car. I mean, they were pulling half a second on William Byron on like lap 30 of a run. So, I mean, I get their reasoning that, he just has to pass three people and he's there. Three people that only took two tires anyways and were slower. But you line up with Logano in front of you, you're not passing him in two laps. And that's what
I
happened.
mean, with the amount I get, what was it, 2 rows that he had to pass worth of cars?
Yeah, yeah, and he was
That's
alongside
still
Larson going into turn one. So it's
that's
just
still tough. That's still,
yeah,
especially with you never know what's gonna happen.
yeah,
Who's gonna get in front of you or what's gonna happen in front of you. And again, like you said, aero blocking, you never wanna be behind someone with this car.
yeah,
So I can see it from both perspectives. It's just it's probably not what I would have done. That's all I can say, but I'm not the one
yeah.
racing, so
I would have probably taken two tires max or even stayed out. Like, I mean, he was pulling away from dudes with 15 lap older tires all race, all race. He had the car. Yeah, it's
and I think even to I don't know how old his tires were, I forgot, but I mean, even to play devil's advocate, he could have stayed out, not even taken
yeah,
any tires.
they had 16 laps on their tires. I think they restarted with 18 to go, something like that.
It's not a lot.
Yeah,
It
it,
could have had the easy guaranteed track position.
yeah,
So it's another tough chapter in the Denny Hamlin book.
yeah, and it's pretty crazy because it's like maybe his third or second most. It's not even his most heartbreaking way that he's lost one of these. I mean, 2021 they put that they had the fastest car all day, and they put that freaking kitchen table sized piece of grill tape on his car in the last run, and he overheated. And then like what was it, 2010, where he spun out on lap one, trying to chase down Jimmy. So
Yep.
I would say those are probably just as heartbreaking, and he's even had moments after that
And
with,
I'm
oh yeah, with I totally forgot, but 2022, the Hail Melon, who was on the
oh yeah,
receiving end of that.
yeah,
Yeah,
damn, yeah,
man.
that's pretty tough. But I'm just glad, that it didn't come down to mechanical because he was having clutch issues the whole race, and I was gonna feel even worse for him if
Yeah,
he didn't have a shot because of some issue with his car. At least it was either him or the crew chief, whoever ultimately decided on the decision that beat themselves rather than
yeah,
a mechanical.
yeah. It was I think the fan reaction, because I definitely have a more moderate take on it, even though I was really rooting for Hamlin to win. It was I think the fan reaction was kind of exacerbated by the fact that NBC really played up the storyline with his dad
Right.
before the race. So it just made it sting. It made people want to pull for him a lot more that weren't originally going to. And I feel like the more reactive people out of that group are being the loudest about hating the current system, even though I really hate the current system for points or for the playoffs at least. But I guess we can put that aside for now, and let's just kind of talk about uh, what we thought about the racing product in general the whole year. I guess we can just bring up races, or we can go by certain track types, or what our favorite races of the year were, and just talk about what was good, what was bad. So, um, I mean, overall, at least in my opinion, this year racing product wise was overall better than 2024. I would say it's probably the best season of just pure racing product since, I mean, 20 2015. Like,
Yeah,
it's been a little
yeah.
bit. Maybe
I think
2018 with the high horsepower, low uh, low drag, low downforce package. But I mean,
I think that you're right. A lot of the a lot of the super speedway races were even pretty good, and you know how those go.
yeah, I
But
would say the only two that were bad were the Daytona 500 and the Spring Talladega race, and those were like real stinkers as far as fuel saving and all that. But I,
but they still had good race. Like you know, they have two
yeah,
races a year at those tracks, and they
yeah,
were the other races were good. You know, they had one bad one, one good one.
yeah,
But I think like Atlanta is lately always really good.
yeah,
Kansas was really good.
yeah.
I'm a big road course guy.
Yeah, I am
I
too.
really I loved I was at Coda in person and I loved that race.
Yeah,
A
and
lot of
I
NASCAR
went to
fans really
Watkins
don't like
Glen, and it
road
was
course.
I went to Watkins Glen, and even though it was 2 hours and 5 minutes total race time, it was so fun being there. Like, I've been there the last 2 years. It's always so fun to watch them wrestle the cars. I do think that like the one road course that needs to go and is a stinker and has been a stinker since literally year one is the Roval,
I knew you were gonna say
and
that.
replace it with literally the best track on the schedule for racing, and that's Charlotte.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Or play Road Course Devil's Advocate Road America would be very cool.
I would love to see Road America. I'd love to see Road Atlanta. These cars, they'd
Yep.
be throwing it. They'd be throwing
Yep.
these cars through there.
And I think maybe the TV product doesn't always show that as much as you see that in person.
Yeah.
It's maybe it's a lot more fun to watch in person, but either way, um, if you know what good racing is, it's still really good racing,
Yeah.
whether you watch it on TV or in person.
Yeah. I feel like people hating Watkins Glen this year was because it wasn't covered well. Because I mean that was the consensus between this. I'm in a Discord with a bunch of other NASCAR people, and we had a league going on with NASCAR 15, and and you know we have this like race chat where we live react to the races, and they said that it was covered pretty terribly this year, um, and I get that, and people hated on Coda this year for some reason, even though that was like
I thought Coda
probably
was great.
I thought it was maybe top 5 race of the year, especially the last
Yeah,
few laps. Like
yeah.
that's
I with
is
Bush
great.
being in it for almost all the race, and then but who was Bell fight? Bell was fighting Bush, right?
Yeah, yeah, it was Bell, Bush, and Ty Gibbs, I think.
Uh, Yep, and I think I'm a big SVG fan, but people were happy that SVG wasn't in it.
Yeah, yeah. I think the you aren't able to see it, but the viewers see my SPG shirt I have on right now. I gotta get a '97 one next year. I bought two of his freaking shirts this year, and now I gotta go buy a '97 shirt for him and an '88 shirt for Zillich this year. So
Another $25 to Trackhouse.
yeah, $25 a shirt, just about.
Yep.
But yeah, and I guess going back on the broadcasting, we can talk about that too.
Prime. Bring back Prime. 100% of the schedule.
I was
That's
literally about to say that. Yeah.
that's my opinion.
Yeah,
Oh
like
man.
what I think would fix everything, best of both worlds. Prime has it, and Prime will have 4K and have the alt cast, whatever they want to do, like an advanced statistics alt cast and like an advanced alternate commentator broadcast on Prime, and then like hear people bitching and moaning about, oh, it needs to be on network. I can't. I don't I don't know how to log into a free Amazon Prime account. I don't know how to create one of those. They're going woke. I just we can just put it on like CW, like, or
I think
just another network can license it. It's fine.
regardless of wherever they put it, and I know NASCAR has done this for a while, but and it won't happen because they're chasing the money, but they need to put it on one network. It's ridiculous to expect people, regardless how boomery they want to be, to try and chase where the broadcast is going to be for the season.
Yeah.
Because
If
my I watch my mom lives over in Florida, but I watch with her every weekend. I send her a pirated stream, but it's that's the only reason it's easy for her to chase down is because the pirated stream always can, just be the one place that she goes to go, you know, pirate the net whatever network's doing it.
yeah,
But to expect someone who wants to go pay for it and do it legitimately, that's ridiculous. You're trying to have them pay for NBC or Peacock. I have Peacock for IMSA, and I'll get a few races that they put on there because they only put the really big races on there.
yeah,
But to pay for NBC and Peacock, um, to access Fox Sports, to access Prime. I already have a Prime account, so I don't care. But like that's just three right there. I like Xfinity because it's always on CW. You
yeah.
always know where it's gonna be,
And it's free.
and
It's a free,
you can get
like
it with an
you
antenna.
can get an antenna. Yeah, I was about to say.
I still watch that one on the pirated stream, but
Yeah, it
but
doesn't
they
affect their pockets. So,
yeah, but it's just it's crazy to me that I get they're chasing the money, but to expect people to chase your race around and wonder why your network ratings aren't good is kind of ridiculous to me.
yeah.
Like IMSA's always on Peacock. That's why I bought Peacock. I would pay for it if it was always somewhere. Given I think I could buy a YouTube TV, which I could get all those networks on, but YouTube TV is like $80 a month,
90 now.
90.
Yeah.
Like I can't even get friends to agree to split it with me, and it's just like, I could just buy like cable at that point, and I don't want to do that because I don't want cable, but it's just we went to streaming because it was cheaper, and now we're right back where we started.
Yep. Yep, that's how it is. And as
So
far as the other networks, I think TNT is pretty promising. I think
TNT was good. I did like TNT.
TNT was good. They had some like weird audio issues, but
Yeah.
it was pretty solid. I would say that that
My
was the second best.
my one gripe with TNT was that they had, like you said, an alt cast and then the normal cast. I didn't know that at first, and I was watching their alt cast, and they had like, say this is your screen, like three quarters or like one quarter of it taken up with like their what was the mini playoffs that they had? What was it called? Um,
The in-season
the
champ.
bracket system. Yeah.
Yeah.
First of all, don't care about that. That was dumb. But they had the in season thing like taking up a quarter of the screen, and I was like, okay, we're gonna take this away, and it was like that for the whole cast. But apparently, I was watching the wrong broadcast.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm very technically savvy. You expect most of your audience to figure that out. I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. And just like you were saying, my dad was trying to watch. Well, he was trying to record the NASCAR races, after they were not on Prime and they went to TNT. And he had accidentally recorded in full the alt cast, and it was for Indy, so he didn't even get to watch the end of it on the alt cast because it ended, you know, I guess like 45 minutes late because of that red flag. And speaking of the in-season tournament, I think people would have cared a little bit more if the best drivers didn't get eliminated immediately at, what was it, Daytona? Was the
I
second?
think it was either Daytona or Talladega, I forget, but yeah, one of the big
Yeah.
super speedways. Um, again, I get the hype that they're going for. They're trying to like create, another playoffs, I guess, mid-season to get people interested.
Yeah.
But it had ultimately it had no effect on the final outcome of the season, which is why I didn't really care about it.
Yeah,
And
it
they're
it
like,
was just, drivers going for money, like the Dash for Cash almost.
Yeah, and maybe I care a little bit about the Dash for Cash. I'm not sure if I do, but I think people in Xfinity kind of need that money more. So it's kind of like they're fighting for the continuation of their career in a lot of ways, depending on who's in the Dash for Cash. So I think that's kind of cool. But the Cup Series guys are, depending on who it is, usually relatively well paid. So I think that's probably why I don't care about it. It's because they're like, okay, just get some more money.
Yeah.
But that's personal. I'm just like, there's no
Yeah.
real drama.
It also didn't help that the last round was, you know, Ty Gibbs versus Ty Dillon. So,
Yeah,
like, if
two
it people would
two
have
people
cared a
who
lot
very much
more.
don't need it.
Yeah, people would have cared a lot more if it was like Larson versus Elliott. And
Yeah,
it was also the last round of it was also at Indy, which is one of the hardest tracks to pass clean at.
right.
So, it would have been better if I understand that, TNT wanted it through their 5 race stretch, but like if they had ended it at Bristol or Richmond, you know, it would have been at least a little bit more exciting for that last race. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't think they should remove it because it's still something that the teams can strive for in the dog days of summer. Especially like without I don't think that they'll go to a non-win in your in system for next year, but like if they were to, it would still be something for like, 5th to 15th in points to like care about still when they definitely don't have a shot for like, the top 5, but something like that would still be useful. Like it didn't affect viewership at all, so from a viewership standpoint, it doesn't matter whether or not it's there because the casual fans who don't watch week to week aren't going to watch week to week to tune in and see that, and the hardcore fans who watch every week are still gonna watch every week. So yeah,
Yeah. So I thought it was a good idea, but clearly the results don't, follow what they were thinking would
yeah,
happen.
yeah.
Because regardless, I'm like you said, I'm gonna watch, but to me it was just more of an annoyance because I'm gonna watch anyway. It's like, why are we focusing on this?
It took away from what was happening in the races a lot of the time, and it was kind of funny seeing Ty Gibbs like victory interview. He was like pissed because he had a 20th place car all day. Or he finished like 25th and still won, and he was just like standing there with the trophy, and he's like,
Yep.
yeah, I'm happy that I won. I'm very proud of this team. Yeah, like he didn't care. He had a bad day. Like, yeah, it's just really odd. But I mean, I don't think that they should get rid of it.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different ways that they could either make it more exciting or less annoying.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they could figure out something to make it a little bit more fun.
Yeah. I guess with that we can move on to I don't know. I didn't really give you a lot of time to prepare for this one. But I had a little thought experiment earlier this week, talking with a couple of people, just what we would do to the format, um, what we would do to the format and to the cars, two separate things. So obviously they're changing the format this year. So if we had the option to, what would you want to see with your championship format? Because you can go 3 ways with it really, and that's what NASCAR isn't really considering. They're not really considering a full season format because they're still using the term playoffs and everything. So
Yep.
like, you know, what do you want to see? You want to see them return to a full season format?
So I think again, I'll bring it back to I talked to this or I talked to this point in my video the other day, but I think NASCAR has built this culture where you kind of expect the dumbest possible outcome or something really
Yeah.
really NASCAR like to happen. So with the culture that they've built, I'd say in the last 20 years, I don't think you can go back to a full season format. Um, Ideally, the purist in me wants to say make it just like IMSA, which is I think relatively the same full season format. But considering the culture that they've built, I think something Chase like uh, would be ideal. I don't want to see people get eliminated over one race.
Yeah.
But let's say like the last 10 races of the season, similar to the chase. I think that would be a good format to go back to. There's a lot of different pitfalls with each format,
Because I
but
mean, either any format aside from a regular season champion or a full regular season would be any format teams would just try and have their best cars at whatever tracks are in it.
right. But I think even to dig even a little further into that, I kind of do like the stages. I know a lot of people hate on the stages, but
Yeah.
I think that we should keep the stages, but don't throw a caution whenever a stage happens. So they're
Yeah.
racing for the points and it gets that hard racing in that they want to have throughout the race, but don't throw the caution. I was at Coda, it was either 2 or 3 years ago for a NASCAR race where they decided that on road courses they wouldn't throw
Yeah,
cautions,
it was
but they would
2024,
still have,
I think, right?
yeah, or whatever it was, either a
Yeah.
year or two ago. I thought that was great because you still had people fighting for points for the stages, but it didn't interrupt the natural flow of the race, and I really like that, and I'd like to see that at all tracks, not just road courses. So have that, and then again, like I said, something chase-like, maybe put a little twist on it. Maybe last 3 races make double XP.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah. My preferred system is, and this would be like a total dream come true, would be we have a full regular season, but we reward the winner a lot more points than we do now. So people want to go back to the Winston Cup format, which is just totally outdated and confusing as hell. Like, why does the winner get 185 points? Why does the person who leads the halfway lap get five bonus or get 7 or 5 bonus points? Why does it's just too confusing. I think to make it easier to digest for the viewer, we keep the current point scoring where 40th place gets 1 point and first place gets 40 points plus like it goes up by, the positions go up by 1 point and then first place gets 40 points plus an additional bonus for winning. We can keep the fastest lap point. We can even make it 3 points or something like that. Make it extra rewarding. But I think instead of giving the winner 40 points, we give them 60. So if they win the stages, if they and keep the stages, but like you said, get rid of the cautions, um, and score maybe instead of the top 10 just to make it just to reward being in the top 5 more, maybe do like 10 points for first at the end of a stage, 7 for second, 5 for third, 3 for fourth, and 1 for fifth. Something like that where it's staggered and it rewards being in the tippy top of each stage. Um, no stage yellows, and then it would make it so that the maximum that you can score instead of 61 in this current format, it would be 81. So it would, you know,
I think that's a great idea, and I kind of I didn't think about that, but I like the extra points for winning, or maybe even the extra points for winning stages more so than second place, because you incentivize the drivers to get a little crazy to try and get that win
yeah,
instead of saying I'll play it safe and get one less point. I could walk out of here with double points if I win, so I might do something a little crazy.
yeah, yeah. I think something like that would definitely incentivize the teams to to want to run up at the front and, maybe not game the system because, if you're SVG and you want to pit right, it would actually get rid of a lot of the follies of the current racing as far as it goes for super speedways and road courses right now, because the main gripe is that super speedways and road courses, the stages, everyone likes to everyone likes to flip the stage and pit right before going because they know that there's going to be a caution in 3 laps. So, it wouldn't completely get rid of it, but it would really help to get rid of it. So, I mean, I feel like that would be an improvement as well.
Anything
And
that incentivizes green flag pit stops, I think, is good.
yeah,
It
yeah,
really puts the pressure on teams to make good decisions and good pit stops rather than just good pit stops.
absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, if I were like if we had no choice for the format but to have some sort of playoff, I would do the 10 race chase as well. It basically go back to what we had before 2013 or 2014, where last 10 races, you get the top 10 in points, and then you get two wild cards that are, instead of 11th through 20th, they would be the two wild cards 11th in points through 36th in points. Whoever has the highest tally of wins out of all them gets to be in. So like SVG would have been one of the wild cards, and I don't even know who. Probably Joey. Probably Joey.
Damn it.
Yeah,
Damn it.
yeah. And then it would just be a 10 race deal with the same point system that I just explained. Going throughout all of it, but the added thing of the 10 race, it would bring playoff points back. So it would be like 5 bonus points, 5 playoff points for a win, and then, or like we'd call it 5 chase points for a win in the regular season, and then like, or maybe 10 or something like that to really reward winning during the regular season. And then like an additional 1 to 3 bonus points for stage wins for the chase. Just to not completely reset it, but to, you know, reward if you did really well. If you did really well throughout the whole year, um, it would, you'd still have a big advantage. And I do think that the regular season champion, or at least 1 through 5 in points, should get additional bonus points, bonus like chase points to start, just to make it, just keep close everyone back up, but not necessarily, make it someone that like Joey, that team prepares for the last 10 races of the year as is. So they would still have an uphill battle if they got off to a slow start like they did the last couple of years. But they would still have an outside shot.
I think that's a great way to go about it. I've never really actually talked it through like that, but anything other than full season points or what we have now would be great. Just I think that's a
Yeah.
good I
Yeah.
think that's a good in between.
God. Anything but what we have now, please. I I don't even I think NASCAR most likely is going to do a 3-4 format because that is kind of what is going on with the Australian V8 supercars right now. They are in their first year of the thing called the finals, where I think it's a 3-3-2 or a 4-3-3 format for them. I can't remember, but they have the incremental eliminations, but they don't have the one race winner take all because they were wise enough. They were not as stupid as Brian France was when
It's
he was
not a
making
it's not a
this.
very high bar, but
Yeah, speaking of bars, Brian France doing bars. Oh God, I might get cease and desisted for that.
also Denny. I really wanted Denny win to win because how funny would it be to see someone suing NASCAR take the whole thing? That would have been great.
Yeah, yeah, they pulled an all in all. NASCAR pulled an all in all and had a sniper on the tower and popped the 24's tire with 3 to go. That's the conspiracy. They put a bomb in his tire. Yeah. But yeah, I guess with that, as far as the week to week racing goes, with the current follies of they're fixing it. They're getting Goodyear's doing a really, really good job with the short track, trying to improve that product. And I think that it's really good. Especially the racing at Phoenix was pretty good this year because there was
It was
tire
good
fall off.
until it wasn't.
It was good until there was no minimum tire pressure
Yep.
enforced and every team had 2 tire failures, but it was their fault. It wasn't Goodyear's fault. Like
Yeah. I I agree.
remember 2022, 2023, Martinsville and Bristol were unwatchable because nobody could pass because the tires had quarter of a second of fall off over 50 laps. So,
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
think that's the correct opinion is that they did a good job, but they didn't have they made the mistake of not putting a minimum tire pressure. I expressed a little bit of a different opinion in my video, but that's mostly for entertainment purposes because that's what I do. But
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I I mean, we were the same. So people are saying that this is the worst car NASCAR's ever had. It's year
no,
4, and it was good in year 3 for the most part, except for a couple of tracks. Year 4, it's really good at most places, and it's bad at 2 tracks. Like, it's really bad at 2 tracks, but it's not
I
really a
think
fault of the car, it's a fault of the strategy that's going on.
yeah,
Like,
I think a lot of people forget about what the early days of the car of tomorrow were like.
yeah, yeah, that was gonna be my point because 2007 through 2009, there were a lot of, and especially with all the nostalgia going on for like that era. I love like that's what we grew up in. I love that era as far as how the cars raced towards like 2010, 2011, 2012. But like there were some real stinkers. Like I've been watching Vody, the channel that re-uploads all the full length clips, because for some reason he had a DVR running for like every single practice session and qualifying and race for all 3 series. And he's just been uploading those videos to YouTube like day by day throughout. He started out in like 2005. He's in like 2011 now, 2010. And just I put those on sometimes just for background noise. And like other than like the 2008 Bristol race and some of the super speedway races and Atlanta races, there were some real freaking stinkers, dude. Like they were bad. They definitely got better and more frequent, better races at especially the mile and a halfs. Later on, like 2, 3 years in, and that's what we're seeing with the tracks that aren't good right now. They're Goodyear's figuring it out. The teams are figuring it out. NASCAR's making tweaks, small tweaks to the cars for those tracks. It's we're getting better. Just be patient, people.
And there's
It's
going to be more horsepower next year.
Yeah, yeah. People are saying, especially the drivers are saying, 750 horsepower. They're going to 750, right? They're not at 750 right now.
No, I think they're at what like 600 right now, something like that.
They're
But
at
yeah,
675, I think.
somewhere in the
They're
600s.
doing
But
like a 70 to 75 horsepower boost, which I think that'll make the racing better at the short tracks for sure. I'm
yeah,
not sure if it'll make it better or worse at the mile and a halfs, which I'm worried about. I feel like if we can increase the horsepower at the short tracks and keep it the same at the mile and a halfs as what we have now, I think that would be good. But if they're going to 750 for everywhere, sure. I like the drivers are saying that it's not going to be a huge change. I'm hoping it's not going to be a huge change for the more aero dependent places.
Right.
Um,
They're not doing it for super speedways. They're
okay,
not. They're not. Yeah, they're not increasing the horsepower for there. But
yeah, that's fine.
I think I think it would be beneficial to because they always say on the broadcast 200 miles an hour. They're doing like 190. I think it would be
They're
cool to
doing
get two.
185 in a pack.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it would be good for just entertainment value at the track to get over 200 because it's a whole nother world when you reach over 200. Those cars fly by.
yeah.
And I don't, I get that they're citing costs, to try and keep costs down on engines and everything, but
You've built
we
engines,
have a,
so
yeah,
you know the cost.
yeah, we've had a great increase in engine technology in the past 20 years. You can make 700 horsepower with an LS. Like and I get a lot of the truck series and ARCA and all that are based on Ilmor LS engines. And they make I don't know what they make. I forget, but the
Xfinity makes
technology's there.
more horsepower than the Cup Series right now. I think that they're at 765 something.
Yeah. I don't know. Are those LS based or are they
Y-
from Ilmor? Do you know?
No,
They're
so
not
the
from
truck
Ilmor because
series all uses Ilmor Chevy engines, and then
right,
the
and then
Xfinity
everyone else can
series
build their
has,
engines.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
just like
it's not
Cup
even
used
that
to
they
be.
build their own engines. A lot of them are customers for like, there's like two teams that do Roush, but
Yeah,
there's
Roush
like,
Yates
yeah,
builds.
Roush, and then there's Earnhardt, Ganassi, there's RCR,
Yeah, Hendrick
TRD. So
probably builds, right?
yeah, Hendrick builds. I think Hendrick builds Junior Motorsports.
Yeah, I'm not as plugged in nowadays as I used to be on that, but the
I might be
technology.
totally wrong with that last answer.
Yeah, but regardless, the technology's there. The point stands that you can make. And any idiot can go build a 700 horsepower engine and have it last in their Corvette. So why can't race teams do it?
Yeah, and not even that. They're already making 670. I mean, what's the difference between 670 on a already restricted engine to like doing 750? I
Yeah,
I mean, who was it? Doug Yates said that the cars could, or that the engines could, within like within 6 months they could have it so that they could easily support all the teams that are current customers with 875 horsepower, 900 horsepower engines. It's just a question of reliability. Um, I'm sure that they don't want. I'm sure that the people that are building engines don't want their customers to lose a race because they blew an engine or something like that. But it's always been like that. We
yeah,
rarely see any engine problems now, which makes it fine. But like, if we want people to try and go as fast as they can while trying to take as good of care, trying to manage the wear of everything, including tires, engine, make it so that the engines are a little dangerous. Like, you know,
yeah. I mean, Toyota was clearly testing something at Martinsville. You could see that they blew up
yeah,
a few engines. Um, so I mean, they were trying to push boundaries within the horsepower range that they're allowed. So people are already doing something.
yeah, yeah. I mean, if can we can increase the horsepower if we want, but I think the more important thing is Goodyear already has a lot on their plate, but the current wheels, we went from the 15 by 10 wheel size, the old car, to the 18 by 12 with the new car. They're running, I think, 325s. Um, why not just go back to a 10-inch width? Why not make it a very common OEM wheel size nowadays, which is 18 by 10? It gets them, in a meaningless way. It gets them closer to being what you have in real life. I don't care if there's one or five lug nuts on the car. It doesn't matter to me. But, getting it back towards an OEM tire size, going back to like the 285, 18 by 10, that's 20% less grip, or, it's once get 5/6 of the grip that you have now, and it puts that much more pressure and, load on the remaining patch of tire. It'll make the tires harder to manage. It'll make them have to look out for their stuff. It'll make tire fall off increase. So, I mean, it seems like that's a very simple thing to do. All they have to do is, well, not simple for Goodyear because they have to change the molds and all that. BBS would have to change their molds, even though I'm sure that they make 18 by 10s with that mold anyways that they have. I'm I think that would be a pretty straightforward fix. I think also, getting rid of the damn underbody that doesn't do anything except make the cars do backflips.
Yeah, there's a lot of really cheap things that they could try that wouldn't cost teams too much money or really have to change that much in production or if at all,
Yeah.
to really change up the product. And I think you said the lug nuts, it's a funny argument when you have Porsches out there that have single lugs on the road nowadays, but I digress. It's a 20, 25, 30-year-old technology, single lugs.
Yeah. I mean, there were Indy cars in the 40s, 50s, 30s that were using single lugs and you had to knock them off with a hammer. It's been a technology forever, and it
Yeah.
might become more prevalent in, more common road cars that aren't like high-tech sports cars. But Mustang's got single lugs now, you know.
There you go. It's trickle down effect.
Yeah.
But
Is there anything else that you could see with them doing, or that you would like to see?
the only kind of wild and far out idea, which I don't know how it would turn out, would be just to lower downforce a lot at super speedways. I think that might be fun.
Yeah.
Or open up the box just a little bit on spec parts because I miss when teams got creative, even though they like to call it cheating.
Yeah.
But I think as far as the box that the car fits in, maybe make it a little bit more loose. You can still keep it within a spec, but let the teams experiment a little bit more with that. And then, mm, I don't know. We'll see what Chevy's going to come up with for their new body.
Yeah. What are you thinking that it's gonna be? Because they didn't said that it wasn't gonna be a Cadillac for some reason. And I saw that you liked on Instagram that Blazer concept. I was gonna send that to you. That actually looks sick, but it's a Blazer.
Yeah, I don't think Chevy. I don't think Chevy would do that, although I have been wrong before. But I think it was cool when they came out with the Chevy SS specifically, so that they could run a car in NASCAR. Um, I doubt they'll be that cool ever again, but it would be cool if they came out with another car just so that they can slap it on a NASCAR.
I would really love to see, speaking of, something like the SS, I would really love to see V8 rear wheel drive Camry with, maybe not a huge V8 like what they have in the IS 500, or,
Yeah,
just like a Toyota version of the IS 500, or like put like a 4 liter or 3.8 liter V8 in Camry and make it homologated for NASCAR.
I made
Like,
a very small point about that in my video I put out the other day, but
yeah,
I think it would be cool to get NASCAR to the point where it's so popular and such a household name again that you're developing cars because of NASCAR again, like they used to. I don't know if we'll ever get back to that, but if the sport gets popular enough, then I could see that happening.
yeah. I'd love to see that rear wheel drive, not rear, love to see that 5 liter V8 Supra.
Yeah, that Supercars has.
That'll
That
be
would be
sick.
really cool. Even if it was something extremely bespoke and they came out with like whatever minimum number
Yeah,
of cars produced would
we'll
be
buy them.
kinda like IMSA does.
Yeah.
Um, I don't foresee that ever happening again in NASCAR, but it would be cool.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that they get like a CT5 or CT. They have a six.
No, they don't, and they're actually killing the CT5V after this year.
Cool. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, that sucks, man.
Everything everything fun has to stop.
Damn.
No fun allowed.
Yeah.
But it's not like I was one of their customers that was gonna buy new anyway. Maybe I'll buy one when it's a 20-year-old car.
I mean, you probably have seen that photo before where like that 90-year-old dude that has like a respirator or like an oxygen tank on a
Yeah,
cart. He's
I
like,
know exactly what you're talking
congratulations
about.
to Frank who just bought this CT5 Blackwing Ultimate Edition or whatever the hell. And he's
And
like,
he
ugh.
pawns, he either bought it cash or he pawns off all the debt on his family after he dies. Oh.
Yeah, man. I'm really excited for all the changes that we'll at least see in real life next year. I
Yeah.
do hope that they do more to improve the way product, make them a little easier to pass. They're
As
not
much as
gonna.
we complain the whole episode and, say we would change this and that, I think NASCAR's in a really good place, and the fan base out of all the fan bases is the most brutal. There's always something to complain about, but
Yeah,
I think NASCAR's in a great place. It's becoming more of a household name again. Um,
they're in a great place if they stop meddling with their own stuff. if they just
they st
like if they just like let the racing speak for itself and not have these things that systematically ruin everyone's perception and Sunday like every other week, they
I hate
they'd be in a great spot. I think that they're in a
I hate
really good spot as is.
I think they are. I really hate I don't hate it actually, but I hate to keep glazing IMSA because that's what I do like every NASCAR video I make. But IMSA has it figured out, man. And NASCAR owns IMSA, which is what I don't get why they can't learn from them, but
Yeah.
look at the numbers in IMSA, how much is growing.
Yeah,
And I get it's a different right? It's a
as
different sport.
in-person spectating and
Yeah.
like the cars and the manufacturer variety, they have all that figured out. It's just I think NASCAR doesn't think that it's successful because NBC just does such a terrible job marketing and broadcasting. Like the commentators, they're the only people that I would keep. But like,
Yep.
I
Lee
mean, the
Diffie.
finish of the Rolex this
Cool.
year on Peacock was under full commercial break, and no one saw the finish.
Yeah.
So
I mean, well, that's why you go to the race, right? I was there. But
yeah, dude, I tried to
um
go to Road Atlanta for Petit Le Mans, and I didn't buy tickets in advance. I just happened to be in town that weekend, and they stopped selling tickets the day before because 270,000 people showed up,
look at that. Look at
and
that.
yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah, it was great.
Well, I don't know what the number on the Rolex was this year, but they had a record-breaking year for like the third year in a row. I have never felt so cramped at an autograph signing session. They moved the autograph signing session to Friday because they couldn't fit everyone
Damn,
on
wow,
Saturday for the Rolex last year. By the way, this will be my 10th Rolex in a row that I'll be going to this upcoming one in 26.
lucky
But
you. I need to get down there sometime soon, man. Haven't been
um,
able
but
to
they
since.
had record-breaking numbers. This will be my fourth Sebring in a row. They've had record-breaking numbers. I went to Le Mans for the first time this past year.
Yep.
I looked at the number that they had like 2 days ago. Their official number was 330,000 people. 330,000 people for sports car racing, and that's WEC, who is, in my opinion, not even as fun as IMSA. But
It's not. Yeah,
um,
IMSA is like the best motorsports out right now.
it has its NASCAR elements as far as their racing, which they're cracking down a little bit on, but they let drivers get a little crazier. But it's still relatively good, clean racing, and they don't get in their own way
Yeah.
like WEC does or like NASCAR does.
Yep.
On both ends of the spectrum. WEC is a little too strict. NASCAR, you can never predict what they're going to do. But I think IMSA strikes that good balance as far as stewardship and making the right calls.
We're
But
hoping NASCAR can get to that. You actually see
I
crowds
hope so.
grow instead of shrink.
Yeah,
Tracks that are
but
really good and deserve big crowds.
IMSA and NASCAR are in the same office, so just walk right across the hall. Go ask some questions, NASCAR, because you can learn a thing or two.
For those that don't know, NASCAR, SMI, they are or no, it's not SMI, it's ISC, and IMSA. They are all in the same 14-story office across from Daytona International Speedway. They have all their logos on the same building. They literally can do that.
You can literally walk right across the hall.
Yeah,
So I don't know how those two factions are so separated as far as the way that they approach things,
because
especially
they
when
don't have
one's
the France family directly running, so that's why.
yeah, that's very true. Very, very true.
All right. Well, we've hit an hour, so I think with that we can go on and have a good rest of our Sunday. All right. Thanks so much, man. I really appreciate it, Sam. Thanks for
Yeah,
thanks for hopping on and talking with me about some of our favorite thing in the world.
thanks for having me. There's nothing I like more than talking off the cuff about racing, especially in a little bit more serious of a manner than I usually talk about it.
Yeah, yeah, and for the few people that aren't already watching his stuff that are watching this podcast, go watch him. It's at Grid Banter. It's gonna be linked in the title and the description. So go check him out while you have. He makes really good content, really entertaining stuff.
A
So
little less serious than this.
yeah. All right, man. Have a good one, and
Yep.
everyone at home, thanks for watching.